626-6799 or 929-205-6099 and enter webinar ID 980-2484-8826 and add phone voice only passcode 298-254-778. Item 1, LM-2020. Forgive me, I had a message here. Item 1, LM-2021-0157, order concerning real property taxes of Juanita Santiago on motor vehicle tax account 650-375, 668-469, 686-191, and 704-092. Item 2, LM-2021-0109, order abating deferring collection of real property taxes due from William B. Mayer on his residence known as 193 Dover Street, Grand List of 2019. These items are on file and available in the office of City Clerk, 200 Orange Street, room 202, New Haven. Per order, Honorable Jose Crespo, Chair. Attest, Honorable Michael B. Smart, City Clerk. If you need a disability-related accommodation, please call 3 business days in advance at 203-946-7651, voice, or 203-946-8582, TTY. Public may send public comment to publictestimony@newhavenct.gov or join the meeting via the video conference. The meeting can be viewed at https://bit.ly/3n1OKSN or joined by telephone at 312-626-6799 or 929-205-6099 and enter webinar ID 980-2484-8826 and add phone voice only passcode 298-254-778. At this time, I would like to recognize all of the members that have joined.
Mr. Chair, I think we can't hear you now.
I appreciate it. Alder Roth, thank you. What I was saying was I would like to now have the committee introduce themselves, name and last name, ward, and the representation of your area, starting with Alder Roth.
Abby Roth, Ward 7, downtown East Rock, and a little bit of Worcester Square.
Excellent. Alder Singh.
Alder Singh, Hill South, Ward 5.
Alder Edwards.
Alder Edwards, Ward 19, New Hallville, East Rock, Prospect Hill.
And I am Jose Crespo. I am the chair of this committee, and I represent Ward 16, the heart of Fairhaven. At this time, I would like to ask staff, Don Hayden, if we have the participant for item 1 or the petitioner for item 1 available. And if she is available, if she can join us.
No, she is not. Sorry, she is not called in or anything. So I will have to contact her tomorrow, and as she was emailed, and she did know that tonight was the meeting.
Okay, so let me just take a quick look here because I did get a message that she was joining. I'm wondering if she's having logging in issues because I also received a message from the vice chair that he was also having logging in issues. So just bear with me 1 second as I send this information forward to the vice chair. Okay. Just bear me 1 second. Just want to ensure that I'm sending the proper information. Okay. So before we go into give this opportunity for item 1 to be skipped over or removed from today's meeting until next month, why don't we jump to item 2? And I see that this is an individual that is also still able to meet the requirements to have a tax abatement for the real property. And I wanted to ask Don if he can provide any additional information aside from the forwarded info we received.
Yeah, he has been receiving the tax abatements since 2010. He had the house was given to him by his parents, and when they went through that time period when the economy was not doing real well, he kind of fell behind everything, and he's been a long, slow slug trying to get going, and he still doesn't make enough to be able to pay for the taxes and still pay his monthly bills.
So in other words, he's too poor to pay.
Correct.
Okay. Which is one of the qualifying categories for anybody who needs a tax abatement for real property. Okay. So now I would like to ask for item 1. Has the participant joined us? Because I just forwarded once more the information to log in.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to ask, thank you, colleague. I would like to ask the petitioner if she's available, if she can state her first and last name and her address for the record, please.
Juanita Santiago, 135 Brownell Street, New Haven, Connecticut, 06511.
Welcome, Juanita. This is the order concerning real property taxes on your motor vehicle tax accounts. You have 4 different accounts for 650-375, 668-469, 686-191, and 704-092. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to just give us a brief narrative as to how we can provide assistance to you.
I was trying to see if I can get abatement on the tax fees and the taxes themselves, because I moved away in 2006 to Ohio, and my husband never gave in the plates. I wasn't aware that we have to give in the plates before, and we didn't have the cars when we left anyway. And my husband just recently passed away, and I moved back to Connecticut, and I am trying to register a car.
Okay. So I do apologize, and I'm sorry for your loss. I can certainly understand that during a pandemic, it is certainly crucial. So just so that I can have the story straight, you moved outside of the Connecticut state, moved down to the residency over in Ohio, established residency until what, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020?
That I moved back?
Mm-hmm.
I recently just moved back, 2020.
Okay. All right. So since 2006 to 2020, you were residing at Ohio.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at, before I continue, does any one of my colleagues have any questions? Because I'm looking at the items here and the amounts that are owed, and I'll just read them for the record. We have okay. The total amount of taxes owed are $1,932.73. With the interest accumulation is $4,513 with 88 cents, with a total of $6,446 with 61 cents. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And this is for a Volkswagen 01, Mercedes 99, Volkswagen 01, Mercedes 99.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from my committee? And I would like to also recognize, and who has joined us is our Vice Chair, Alder Ernie Santiago from the 15th Ward. And at this time, I would like to also recognize my colleague, Alder Frank Douglas. And I believe that is all who have joined. I also saw the hand of the Vice Chair, Santiago. Sir, you have the floor. And I can't hear you.
I know, I saw it. I just got one question.
Sure.
Yes.
Does she acknowledge that those were her cars before she moved?
Yes.
Okay, so if I heard correctly, you guys did not return the plates, and that's why you're getting charged? That's why you say
Yes.
you're getting charged? Okay. And you moved in 2006, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so, okay, so since you 2006, 2008, 2 years. Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I would like to now recognize Alder Roth. I saw your hand first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Ms. Santiago, for joining. I just had two questions, and just in our materials, and I may just be misinterpreting this. For the Volkswagen, there's a 2005 tax year, and so I wasn't clear if you hadn't moved in 2005, but maybe the bill, I guess, I wasn't clear why that was included.
That is a great question, Alder Roth.
As to which, I'm
And
sorry, I
maybe
didn't.
this question is for Don Hayden for the 2005. Is that just when the year run, like it's actually billed in 2006?
It's the 2005 grand list, which is October 1st for the following year's January 1st tax bill. So the 05 would cover that October to October, but would be billed in July.
July of 06 or 05?
06.
06.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. And then my second question is just, I'm just curious if you're just moving back now, but what happened after 2008? Because the plates weren't, I guess I'm just curious why there aren't charges from 2009 to 2020.
I have that question also, because if we left in 2006, so I don't understand why there are taxes for 2007 and 2008.
If I might answer that also.
Sure,
course.
that would be
Don.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, because they did not turn in the plates, motor vehicles continue to notify the city as long as
Yeah.
motor vehicles considered it registered, which is why the following years, they still notified the city that it was registered in Connecticut, in New Haven. So of course, they were taxed. And then after, 2008, they stopped taxing it because the registration ran out.
Got it. It's tight. Thank you. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you very much for both of you for answering my questions.
Thank you, Alder Roth. I would like to now yield the time to Alder Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of my questions was actually answered by Mr. Hayden just now, so thank you for that, Alder Roth, that clarification. My other ask would be probably of Ms. Santiago.
Yes.
Ms. Santiago, before you
Yes.
so the plates were not turned in, that was established, so you kept getting billed. What would your actual ask be of our committee as far as how much you can pay? And I always ask that question because although we are tax abatement and we do try to work with people, we try to be realistic in our ask, because these charges are real charges and, you know, it's not a city mistake. So my ask is, what are you here to ask of us today as far as help?
Well, honestly, I was left in a lot of debt when my husband passed away. There were a couple of things that I wasn't aware about that he mostly took care of, and I have pretty much a lot of debt, so I have nothing right now.
So I guess to
Oh,
address,
oh,
go ahead, Alder Edwards.
okay, so you're looking for all of this to be eliminated or as much as possible?
If possible, yes.
Okay, and are you currently working?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you are now trying to get another car registered, you stated, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I do have one more question, Mr. Chair.
The floor is yours, madam.
Okay, thank you. As far as notice, because although some of these ran over to 2007, 2008 years because the plates were not turned in, you would have or should have received some kind of notification, at least for the 2005, 2006 ones before you moved away. So what would your response to that be?
I was not aware of any notifications.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Alder Edwards. I'm thinking that with the information she had provided earlier, I think she was under the impression that her husband was covering this. Is this correct, Ms. Santiago?
Yes.
So you weren't aware of any of the notices because your husband was pretty much taking care of these items.
Yeah, I didn't get any notifications, and if there were any, I wasn't aware of them.
Okay, so I do see the vice chair's hand up still. I just wanted to ask if you have any further questions. Okay, and then I also would like to ask my colleague Alder Douglas if he has any questions, and I would like to also recognize Alder Jody Ortiz, who has joined us. And just to bring Alder Ortiz up to speed, we're looking at item 1, order concerning real property of Juanita Santiago regarding her motor vehicle tax accounts for 2005, 2006, 2007, and 2008. So,
Mr. Chair,
yes.
Alder Douglas here. I have no questions.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Thank you,
have no
sir.
questions.
I appreciate it. Alder Ortiz, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know.
No questions at the time. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And I just want to ask now my vice chair, the floor is yours, sir.
There we go. No, just it's more of a comment, and then for maybe through you know, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if we're gonna say it, but you should remind her that whatever we decide here, she has 90 days, 3 months after. If we decide to have her pay some of it, instead of, because we do have to look for the city, help the city at the same time as we help our constituents, and that she does have 90 days to comply. I understand she's want to register the car, which that might, be she's gonna have to shuffle some things. Just so you know, so let her know about the 90 days after the second reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. So absolutely. So we will certainly try to help you as much as possible, Ms. Santiago, and try to reduce as much as possible. But I wanted to ask you, I understand that you're certainly in debt. You're certainly dealing with the loss of your husband, and with your late husband, you have some bills that you have to take care of, as well as now establishing yourself back in Connecticut. And recently you've been employed and you're now providing for your family. I just wanted to ask, given that I would lean more towards the 2005, given that it was the year prior, we have here the taxes for $284.07 with an interest of $717.42, giving you a total of $1,001.49. if we were to forgive the interest for 2005, would you be able to pay the $284.07?
I will, yes, I will come up with that.
Okay. And then I would like to ask, because I know that my colleague, this was a wonderful point that my colleague Alder Roth pointed out, and I think would be appropriate to try to recover this, at least these taxes. Does anybody else want to recommend any additional years? Mr. Vice Chair, I see your hand up. Nope. Alder Edwards, I see your hand up.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
I maybe it's a question of clarification. What you just stated, was that a statement asking if she could pay that without
Yes.
interest? Only that
I was asking her if we were to be able to assist her with the interest, will she be able to pay the taxes for 2005?
Okay.
And she confirmed that she would be able to.
And it was just for that year? You
I
weren't
was just-
going line by line?
I wasn't going line by line unless everybody else would like for me to do so, just so that we can have a gauge as to what we're going to be doing this evening.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, just a
Yes.
slight point of order. This is normally a discussion you'd be having during your deliberations after the meeting.
Indeed, but because we will not have the public opinion or the petitioner available to give us her input, that's why I'm doing it now. So I appreciate the point of order, duly noted. So, Madam Santiago, I just wanted to ask, I would like to go down the line just for clarification purposes. For 2006, you have the Volkswagen and the Mercedes, which is $358.45 and $347.48, which is a total of $705.93. With the interest, you will be paying $877.60 for the Volkswagen and $819.55 for the Mercedes, which is a round estimate of about $1,700 in interest. What can you do with the $705.93 if we were to consider waiving $1,700?
I mean, actually, I wouldn't have that money.
Okay.
I would be scraping up the 200 and something for the 2005
Okay.
taxes.
So for the 2006, you wouldn't be able to pay anything.
No.
Okay. For items 2007, and 2008, I don't want to assume, but given that you won't be able to pay for 2006, I would just have to say that for the remaining years, you wouldn't be able to pay because it would be a total of $300.04, $351.19, $287.54 on the taxes alone. With interest, $688, $811, and $599. So for those years, you wouldn't be able to pay anything either.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I believe I have all the information that I need. I would like to ask my committee if there's any additional questions that would like to ask the petitioner. This will be the appropriate time. I'm just going to go around real quickly. I don't see any hands up here. I see the vice chair. Mr. Vice Chair.
Quick question to Ms. Santiago.
Yeah.
Can we know what kind of car you're going to register? What kind of car you just got?
It's an Acura
What year?
2015, I believe.
Oh, 215. All right. Thank you.
Any additional questions from the committee members? Just scrolling. I see Alder Douglas. Mr. Douglas, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Santiago,
Yes.
so I'm just curious. So you're having a hard time financially. I understand that. So you want to get a car registered. You got to have insurance. You got, there's other more finances that you got to come up with just rather than just paying your taxes. How are you going to pay for this other stuff like taxes, the upcoming taxes, the insurance? How you going to put gas in the car if you can't pay? If you can't pay for anything
Well,
else?
I do work. I just don't have thousands of dollars laying around, but I can come up with a monthly payment of an insurance. I'm still paying my car. I can do that. That's budgeted in my salary, but I don't have thousands of dollars laying around where I can just lump sum give all that money. I just lost a whole income from my husband, and that's the only reason why I can't pay all that. But I mean, I have to work, so I do need a car.
I have no more questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Douglas.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Alder Ortiz, any questions? Seeing none.
None at this time.
Okay. I see Alder Singh.
Mr. Chair, I have one question for Ms. Ortiz.
Sure.
Ms. Ortiz, was this car registered jointly in both of yourself and your late husband's name, or just in your name?
Just a point of clarity, I believe you're referring to Alder Ortiz, but you mean to speak to the petitioner who is Ms. Santiago.
Santiago, sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Ms. Santiago, was this car registered in both of your name or just your name?
Just my name.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Of course. And let me just scroll down to see if there's any more questions. I don't see any hands up. Let's see. Okay, so I do have a final question. Ms. Santiago, where are these cars at the moment?
Oh, God, we sold them before we left in 2006. I don't know.
Okay. What was the amounts that you sold them for?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. I think there are no further questions from the committee. I have no further questions. So just so that we're clear, we're able to at least, you're able to at least secure $284.07 for the 2005 year, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not saying that that's what we're going to do, but I just wanted to have an understanding. Do you have any questions for us? Any comments?
No.
Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Madam Santiago. You're all set. You can certainly remain listening in, or you can also, once you dial away, you can have you're going to receive a phone call or follow up with Don, who's going to let you know what is the outcome from this committee, and that's going to be the recommendation that this committee is going to do towards your accounts. And then once this recommendation is sent forth to the Board of Alders, they will make the final determination once this item has been in the floor. Are you asking for these items for this tax abatement to be done within the normal routine, or are you asking for a unanimous consent item? Now, that means that you're trying to register your vehicle right away with the unanimous consent, or you can wait 3 months before it's presented as a communication, second reading, first reading, second reading, and then that's where my colleague, Vice Chair Santiago, was able to allude to the fact that it takes 90 days from where, once it's voted upon, you have 90 days from there to make that payment that this committee suggests.
I would like it resolved as soon as possible.
So you would like unanimous consent?
Yes.
Okay. Which would mean if once it goes to the board, once this committee discharges this item or this item goes forward, you would have, I believe, 90 days from the time. So it could be sometime, Don, maybe you can help me. I don't know if it's going to be at the next Board of Alders meeting or the one after that. Or maybe even my vice chair as well can provide his insight.
I think our next meeting is the 3rd, right? This Monday coming up.
Yes.
Correct.
So if he goes UC right now, she could pay the 4th. Whatever we decide, she'd be able to pay on the 4th. That's why my hand was up, because I was
Okay.
gonna mention about the UC and how fast she needed the car to register her car. But you
Gotcha.
cover it, sir.
She wouldn't be able to register it on the 4th. She'd be able to pay her taxes. So it takes about 24, 48 hours for the tax office to notify motor vehicles that it's been paid.
And also for Ms. Santiago's knowledge, we would not have you pay installments. You have to pay one time, everything in one shot. If you can't do that, so if you fail, let's say we make the recommendation for you to pay $284 and you fail to pay that, you will go back to paying $6,446 with 61 cents. So it's going to be,
Oh my God.
yeah, so it's not like you're going to be able to pay $10 now, $20 later. You have to pay all of it in one shot. Whatever the recommendation is, you have to pay it in one shot. And if you don't, it'll engage you once again, and then you'll have to go before this committee to get a tax abatement.
Before July 4th.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you. Yes, Mr. Vice Chair.
Just so she knows, if we send the UC, and then, with the meeting this Monday, and we usually, we approve it, the 4th, she has until July 4th. That's the 3 months, right? May 4th, June 4th, July 4th, right? That she could gather the money by then, so
It'd be August 4th.
Was that
August?
August 4th.
Okay, August 4th.
May? Oh, that's right, May. That's right. That you can come May. You're right. August 4th. So not that you have to wait until then, just that you have until then to gather the money. That's just a comment. Thank you, Chair.
Yep. So in layman's terms, if this were to go to UC, once it goes to the board on the 3rd of May, you have from May 4th to August 4th to make the complete payment in one shot. If that doesn't happen by August 4th, you're going to get a notification that you owe $6,446.61. I mean, you owe that now, but you'll get another notification if you fail to do that payment. Okay?
Yep.
So I won't take any further of your time. I appreciate you letting us know and explaining. Once again, my condolences to you and your family and your loved ones for the loss of your husband.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good afternoon.
You too.
Thank you. So given that we've already heard the items 2 prior to item 1, I believe that I would like to now entertain anyone from the public who wishes to testify on item 1 or item 2. This would be your time. And I would like to ask my colleagues, or I would like to ask Staff Don if he can let me know if there's anybody from the public. So I would like to ask on this second time if anybody from the public wishes to testify to speak in favor or against items 1 and 2. This will be your time. On the third and final attempt, I would like to entertain any testimony regarding items 1 and 2 from the public. Hearing none, seeing none. Mr. Vice Chair.
I move to close the portion, the public portion.
Second.
The public portion has been moved and seconded so that it can be closed. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, please indicate it with an aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? The ayes have it. I would like to entertain any motions from this committee. Mr. Vice Chair.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion on. I'm gonna make a motion on the number 2 that we grant the abatement for the what's his name?
William Mayer.
Yeah.
Second?
So there's a motion and it has been seconded that we provide a abatement for Mr. William Mayer regarding his residence real property tax. Discussion. Mr. Vice Chair.
Well, he seems like he's been granted before and he still meet the requirements. So it's a given that, we keep helping him, or it's him, right? Us. That's what my only comment. He
Okay.
he'll still meet the requirements.
Indeed. I would like to, I got nothing further to add. I'm in agreement. Anyone else? Discussion? Let me just go through. See none. All in favor to approve?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Chair, you're still muted.
You mute.
Aye.
There we go.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstention? The ayes have it. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Don. So I would like to now entertain any other motions.
I make a motion for item 1, which is Miss Juanita Santiago on her motor vehicle tax accounts. And my motion is that we waive the interest of $4,513.88, and that we also waive taxes from 2007, 2008, which brings us to a total of her paying $990 for taxes for 2005, 2006, and 2006.
Second?
I see a motion for, that has been moved and seconded for item 1 to pay a total of $990, waiving the interest and paying the taxes for tax years 2005 and 2006. Discussion. Alder Edwards. Yep. No worries. Take your time.
I'll get my mute off.
It's okay. It's
I was
It's
panicking.
happening.
I was like, I can't talk. Okay. I made that motion because I know they moved. I also know they knew they had cars in their name. I know her husband is now deceased. However, I do feel like she knew these cars were in both their names. They sold the vehicles. They moved out of state. Now you're back and you do have a responsibility for your taxes. So I do think it is a fair motion, and that is why I propose the motion as such. And especially because she can break it down over those months, and it comes up to about $200 and something a month because she has until August 4th to pay. So that is why I made the motion, and that's my.
Right. So I just wanted to add, if you break it down by 3 months, that's $330 per month. Any other discussion?
Well, I know it's 2. You said, oh, sorry. Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Has anybody second the motion to move that item?
Yes, Alder Roth did.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
Yeah. I know it's like you said, 230 a month. At the same time, she don't have 3 months to register her car either. So she needed the car sooner. I was gonna propose 600, not 200, not 900. But I mean, I'm not gonna make it a friendly amendment. I'm not gonna, of the Earth Wars. If my colleague thinks that that's fair, I thought we were gonna go a little lower because we've done it for plenty of people, and so I don't know. Honestly, I was gonna do 6, but if everybody agrees for the 9,
Mr. Chair, I think
You're
you're
muted.
still muted.
you mute.
I thank you all for putting up with me. I guess it automatically gets muted. I wanted to ask the opportunity for Alder Edwards to provide some input to see if she's willing to entertain a friendly amendment, and I would like to yield the floor to Alder Edwards. It's happening all night. Take your time.
This is user era right now, and I'm on
Yeah,
Zoom all day.
I'm not even touching the screen, and it's going on
I'm
mute.
on Zoom all day, so there is no excuse for me not to be able to manage my buttons. Thank you, Alder. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you for your talk, Alder Santiago. And so you think, in essence, that we could do a little better than that? That's what it sounds like you said to me. I am torn. I was willing. I did have another number in my head. I don't know if it's discussion, so I'll say it. My next motion, if we were playing Let's Make a Deal here, would be to bring it down to 642.52 at minimum, because she does bear responsibility. And I do know I call it let's make a deal, because I'm empathetic to people. I understand everyone's plight. I've been there. Life is life. But I'm willing to negotiate no further down than 642.52.
I like it.
Which basically removes one of the 2006 charges of 347.48. That would be my counter proposal or my friendly amendment I'm willing to make on my own, or whatever, however we word this. Sorry.
I
I appreciate it, Alder Edwards. So what you're telling me is that if you were to entertain lowering that suggested amount for your motion, that would eliminate $5,804.09, and she will be paying $642.52. Okay. So I would like to ask my colleague, Mr. Vice Chair, would you be amenable? Would you be able to accept that counter offer, if you will, from colleague Alder Edwards, where instead of 600, make it 642.52?
I agree. That I agree. I've said 600 out of my head because to make it even, an even number, but that makes sense. I definitely, if she was willing to have my friendly amendment to 642.52. Is it? Am I right? 642.52.
642.52.
I mean, yeah, and I'll make the friendly amendment. Yeah.
And I would like to now entertain Alder Roth, please.
I think Alder Douglas had his hand before
Yeah,
me.
me too. I saw it.
Defer to
So
him,
I
Mr. Chair.
would like to apologize, Alder Douglas, because I'm scrolling back and forth. I did not catch you. Sir, you have the floor. Thank you, Alder Roth.
No, I'll retract. I'm going to stay back. I'm liking the discussion that we're having and the friendly amendment. I'm going to agree with their friendly amendment. So you can move forward. Thank you.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Alder Roth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess my only question, I have a lot of sympathy for her. She's clearly struggling. Her husband just died. I can imagine she's dealing with a lot. And particularly if her husband was the one who sort of dealt with the bills, she might not have tracked and followed everything. At the same time, she did say to you, I thought that she could pay $1,000. So I guess my only question, thinking also of our city's taxpayers, other taxpayers, but maybe I misunderstood your question to her, Mr. Chair. If she said she could pay the $1,149 for the 2005.
Great question. So I asked her, the taxes is $284.07. The interest is $717.42, which is the total of $101.49. And my question to her was, if we were able to forgive the interest, could you pay the remaining $284.07? She indicated that she can pay $284.07.
The 284. Okay, I thought it was the total for the 2005 year. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for clarifying that. So I'm fine then with the friendly amendment. I just wanted to make sure if she had said she could pay $1,000 that we weren't putting a burden on other taxpayers.
Absolutely. Alder Edwards. So I just want to ask a question to Don. Do we need to have Alder Edwards make the friendly amendment, or can we accept it from our colleague, Mr. Vice Chair, making the friendly amendment?
It needs to be made as a motion.
It hasn't been seconded either. I made the motion. It hasn't been
And
seconded.
motion and seconded.
So there was no motion on the table yet. I just wanted to ask about the friendly amendment for Alder Edwards. Current motion on the table.
Yeah, you get a motion for that and a second, and then you can vote on it.
You want me to do it officially?
Yeah. Thank you, Don.
You ready?
Yes, Alder Edwards.
Okay.
Yes,
Help me
ma'am.
out if I'm wording this wrong. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Of course.
I would like to make a motion, a friendly amendment, please, and move it as a motion to, instead of having her pay $990, my amendment would be for her to pay Ms. Santiago the amount of $642.52.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
So, friendly amendment has been moved. It has been seconded. Discussion. I don't see none. All in favor to approve the friendly amendment, please indicate it with an aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstention? The item passes. Now, I would like to, any and all in favor of approving the item as amended, please indicate it with an aye, which is gonna be that item 1, Ms. Santiago will be paying a total of $642.52. Please indicate it with an aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? The ayes have it, the item passed.
Mr. Chair,
So I would like to ask Don, do you recommend that we give her the full 90 days instead of the UC?
well, she'd still have the 90 days. It just be,
Okay.
putting it through as UC just means you knock off 2 weeks at the end.
Okay. So I would like to ask Alder Edwards and Mr. Vice Chair and the committee, what do we want to do with this item? Should we move it through as a UC item or as a regular communication?
She did say she needed to, I'm sorry. Yeah. She did say she wanted to register the car as soon as possible.
Correct.
So if we only taking off 2 weeks, she still got, remember, she don't have to wait for the 90 days.
Correct.
She probably have the money and she would, pay next week. So, so let's give her the option that if she could pay it next week, pay it next week.
Okay.
I will send her to UC.
Alder Roth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's what she wanted. We have so many tax abatement items as UC, it won't seem strange or sound outlier in any way.
Okay. I'm in agreement. Let's move it as a UC item.
I'm in agreement too.
Thank you, Alder Singh, Alder Ortiz, Alder Douglas.
Yep, I'll accept that.
Thank you, sir. Alder Ortiz,
Yes, I accept.
I appreciate it. Thank you both. So the item is already, give me one, okay, for whatever reason, this is active. Okay, so given that we have already been able to discuss and move both items, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Let me make it first. So move.
Thank you for moving the motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Second again?
Thank you for seconding this motion. No need for discussion. All in favor, indicated with an aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstention? The ayes have it. I hereby adjourn this meeting.
Have a blessed
Everybody
one,
have a good
guys.
night.
Be safe.
Good
Stay
night,
Be
safe.
all.
safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Be
Good
well.
night, everyone.
Thank you for your collaboration, everyone.